Guys, I think that we can all agree that stay-at-home moms are a grossly underappreciated part of our society. Like, I feel like that's not a very controversial thing to open the video up with. At least I hope so, right? You think they're undervalued? I found a group of people who are way more undervalued than stay-at-home moms are. That's right, I'm talking about the stay-at-home girlfriend. Sounds interesting? That's because it is. Incredibly interesting. What is a stay-at-home girlfriend? Basically a stay-at-home mom, but remove the mom aspect of it. A woman who's dating a guy. In this case, like every instance is a guy. There's no queerness here. That's not okay. No. But they are not married. The woman, in the majority of instances, pretty much 100% financially depends on the man. And like I said, she is a caretaker for the house and her boyfriend. So let's look at some examples of the stay-at-home girlfriend. Now, a big example of this is this one girl. Her name is Kendall K. But her videos were like some of the first videos with this trend that really garnered a lot of popularity. Let's look at her TikToks and provide some examples for what this is all about and do some gentle jokes. Okay, I don't want to be too mean. If I were her, I probably would have shut off my comments. We're going to do some gentle jokes. That's my new style of comedy, is gentle joking. I'm not going to be too mean, not going to be too harsh, but some of the stuff that she does is a little bit ridiculous, so I will make fun of her. And hey, we could do a little joking right here. We could do a little joking, okay?
Day of my life as a stay-at-home girlfriend. I first did my skincare routine, then I did some ice rolling and some journaling, and I made the bed. Then Luke and I got out and picked up some celery juice and then went to his favorite latte place. Then we came home and I made myself a matcha latte and checked some emails, replied to some texts. Then I went for a walk to my Pilates studio and made myself some breakfast. Then I did a lot of laundry folding, and then I steamed my dress that I'm going to wear for tonight. Took Luke to the gym. When I came home, I cut up some veggies to snack on, and then I heated up some soup for Luke. Then I got ready and put my shoes on, saw a butterfly, and then we stopped at this cute wine store, got a bouquet of flowers, then went to my dad's to celebrate his birthday.
I'm not trying to be a hater, and I don't want any of you to hate on any of these women that we're going to be discussing, but because it doesn't even seem like she's doing much housework at all. She folded some laundry. Wow. I'm not trying to undervalue housework. My mom worked a job cleaning a woman's house for I think about 20 years, and it's not something that should be undervalued. And I just want to make that really clear, but usually it consists of more than just folding clothes, right? It's like vacuum, mop, dust, wash the dishes, do laundry, a lot more stuff than just that. I think it kind of sucks that she's like the face of this whole thing because she doesn't do anything. And does the girl eat? Listen, I think a bigger problem with this whole trend and everything that Kendall K is showing is you could probably say a lot about her diet and what, again, she's choosing to show certain things that she's eating. Maybe she's eating more or something, but day in your life, you want to show highlights. And if your only highlights are drinking liquid all day, wow, that's a kind of bland life. I'm just going to be honest. Everything I did for my boyfriend as a stay-at-home girlfriend, and that part's in cursive, so stay-at-home girlfriend.
This is everything I did for my boyfriend today as a stay-at-home girlfriend. The first thing I always do is make him a coffee. He loves these lattes with some cinnamon on top. And then I take it down to his office for him. And then he handed me his water bottle to fill up. And I realized I had to change the water filter, which I needed some help with. And then I've continued to fill up his water with ice cubes. I tidied up our room and made the bed, unloaded the dishwasher, and then reloaded it. Made Luke some chicken salad on toast, then made him another latte because he always likes to have a second one in the afternoon. I sorted all of our laundry into piles and started putting it into the washer. When it came around dinner time, I started to get cooking. I make dinner every night. Tonight I made lamb meatballs, which is one of Luke's favorite meals. They turn out so yummy. And then after dinner, I clean up all the dishes in the dishwasher. And I think I forgot to cut this part out. Oops. I made him tea, and then I hung up a lot of the laundry.
Wow, that one just felt really dark. It's not funny, but like this is why it's a problem that like this girl is like the face of this trend. They're not all like this, okay? I feel like it's not a very bold statement to say that like when you remove the mom aspect of things, there's a lot less for you to do. When you're dating someone and you stay at home all day. Like, there's not much to do if you're not taking care of children, finances, or anything like that. It's like, what are you doing? Do you get what I'm saying? What you decide is fulfilling for you is what's fulfilling to you. And if for this girl, staying at home and doing whatever she does besides what she's sharing with us, I don't know what that is. I think we have one more video we're going to watch by Kendall K. I'm sorry. I'm really harping on this, my girl here. I'm sorry, Kendall. So I was going to include another day in the life of a stay-at-home girlfriend from Kendall, but the video is like over 2 minutes long, and I just think it's a little excessive. You guys already have a pretty good picture of what she does every day. This one's more or less the same. She drinks a lot of stuff. She does some journaling. She makes some food for her boyfriend, opens the blinds, makes the bed, does the dishes, puts some loads of laundry in there. This one does something a little different. She goes to the gym, eats some lunch, opens up a package she got, and then shops online, makes dinner, and more drinks. That's pretty much all this one was. Drinks a lot of juices. Drinks a lot of water and stuff. Maybe doesn't eat anything. I think that might be a problem worth addressing other than the stay-at-home girlfriend thing, but I digress. So there's Kendall. She's kind of the face of this, but we do have some other examples that I'm going to go through really quickly. So this one, is a lot less depressing. I can't show the video because it has Cuff It by Beyonce. Great song, by the way. Great song. Playing in the background. Again, I can't play this one because it has the copyright in the background. Wah, wah. But she went to Starbucks, she went to Zara, bought stuff, bought more clothes at H&M, I don't know if she bought the new iPhone in this vlog, but she did buy a case for her new iPhone. Bought stuff at HomeGoods, bought stuff at Trader Joe's, brought it all home, put everything away, went to Ulta and bought more stuff. Go to the gym, she ate dinner, and she said at the end, that's all I did today. What did you do today? So that's it. I feel like there's another layer of this that you could pick at instead of the fact that she has her boyfriend pay for everything in for her. And I think that's the fact that she literally just went shopping all day and bought a bunch of shit that I'm guessing she probably did not need. And you guys probably know how I feel about consumerism. Not a big fan of overconsumption, okay? I'm not a big fan of it. So I feel like that's a bigger problem than her boyfriend paying for everything for her. And the thing is, people in the comments are like, I want this life. Because people don't want to work. People want to be able to stay home and do nothing like this girl is. And she said at the end of the video, I was like, this is all I did today. Is I went shopping, I made some dinner later tonight. That's all I did today. I'm not going to attack you for that or anything. I think there's a lot of people who are jealous. And I think that's where a lot of the criticism comes from, this trend, is people who wish that they didn't have to work and they wish they had someone who could provide for everything for them. And all they had to do to them, because in comparison to working like a 9 to 5 or working 40, 60 hours a week, staying at home and cleaning the house is very minimal compared to actually having to go and do a job and get paid dog shit for it, right? So a lot of people, I think, wish that they had this life. Again, this is not me saying that housework is easy by any means. It's just going off of what these girls are showing. It's a very picturesque type life. And when people see a life like this, you know, all she did was some laundry and some dishes and made some food, that compared to a 9 to 5 is a lot more desirable, I guess is the best way to describe it. I'm not saying housework is easy, but like I said before, I think when you remove the mom aspect of it, again, stay-at-home moms, there's been studies done on this, they work like 2 full-time jobs during a week, but that's because they are moms and they have children to take care of, on top of cleaning the house, on top of finances, on top of taking care of their spouse. It's a lot more than what these girls are doing is what I'm trying to say. This one isn't like a day in the life. This one just says, when you go from working 70 hours a week, living in a cold, shitty apartment, to stay-at-home girlfriend who wears $1,000 slipper, is madly in love, and the only thing on the calendar is to go to Pilates, Postmate dinner, and think about when you're going to be engaged. See, I think this one is a different example because this woman has a lot of work experience. She seems to be older than some of the girls that I've showed you, knows what it's like to work, and now she's being provided for. I think that's a very big difference than someone who has never worked a day in their life and is now getting everything handed to them. I think that's like a really big difference in a sense of privilege and not knowing what it's like to actually struggle in life. And I don't know if maybe Kendall was poor. I'm not trying to assume people's lives. When you don't have a job, what I'm assuming you probably didn't have like a real job in the first place, and now you have someone who you're 100% providing on, that can create like a dangerous dynamic between two people. I'm not sure if the music over this one is copyrighted. It's like this weird lo-fi music, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. Here's another different example of a stay-at-home girlfriend, content creator / stay-at-home girlfriend, day in the life. So she does her skincare routine, and then she does like a shoot for a brand deal, which I'm gonna talk about in the original video in a second. And then she goes to Pilates, and then she goes to quote-unquote run some errands, her words in the video, and by errands she said means going to Chanel. And then she eats, goes to Home Goods, goes to Target, and comes home. So that's it. This girl, I think this is another different type of situation because it seems like she's making money off of brand deals. So it seems like while her boyfriend is providing for her consumption habits and stuff like that, it seems like if they were to break up, she probably has money. And I think that's another big part of this, right? She's fine. She's going to be fine. She's not 100% financially dependent on him. Again, I feel like a bigger criticism for these videos are like the consumerism aspect of it. It's like, you don't need to buy all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have one more example, and I forgot to go over this one in the video, so I'm just going to include it in here right now. Because a criticism I've seen for this is that all of the girls doing this are white, and that's not true. Even just looking up stay-at-home girlfriend on TikTok, I saw a lot of non-white women doing this, and I wanted to include some of their videos, obviously. So this girl, she went into like a hotel, got some coffee, she got some lunch, went to get a facial, looking great, by the way. Sorry, that sounded really sarcastic. It's not. Starbucks, and then she went on a little hike with her boyfriend, and they had a picnic, and that's what she did. So good for you. Awesome. Now, this trend has been getting a lot of criticism, like I said, for a couple things. And as I've showed you these videos, I've kind of gone over some of them. One is that it's extremely unfulfilling. 2 is that there's a lot of privilege behind this. Number 3 is that this promotes a sexist, this is not Latin class, a sexist ideal for women. And 4 is that it promotes a dangerous relationship situation for a woman to be in. So the first thing we have is unfulfilling. Like I've alluded to throughout going through these examples, is it's up to a person to decide what is fulfilling for them. If these women find shopping or sitting around and doing nothing, if they find that to be fulfilling, good for them. I think a lot of people are saying this is unfulfilling because I think in the society that we're in the capitalist structure that we're in the society that we live in, I think people put a lot of too much value on whether someone works or not. And I think that's why a lot of people find this living to be unfulfilling, because if you're not working, what are you doing that's fulfilling? And I think there are a lot of things that you can do outside of a day-to-day job that can be fulfilling, like reading books. Maybe you love reading books. Buying clothes and styling yourself and stuff like that. There's a lot of things outside of a normal work job that are fulfilling. To people who don't really care about the work aspect of it, it just seems like these girls don't do anything all day from what they show us. And I think a big highlight of this is that people don't show everything that they do online. I get that. There's probably other stuff going on in their lives that they're not choosing to show. And that's okay. But from what we can see, it just seems to be a lot of sitting around. And I think most of these stay-at-home girlfriends aren't actually doing housework. They're just being provided for by their boyfriends. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think it's kind of, I don't know, silly to use the term stay at home blank when you're not staying at home and doing housework or really caretaking for someone or something or whatever the case may be, I think it's a little strange.
I think the reason why the general public has latched on to these stay-at-home girlfriend videos is because we are all so stunned that these girls have all the time in the world, but they still make their hobbies Pilates and acai bowls. It's like you could literally, especially given their circumstances, I'm thinking they aren't worried about money, which is why I'm also weirded out when people are like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be hopeless. Like, look at these girls. Do they look like they're working class people? But anyways, I think the rest of us wonder, like, why aren't they taking art classes? And maybe they're not into art, but like trying extreme sport. And maybe they're not into that. But also, if they wanted to find fulfillment, there's also volunteer opportunity. You could be a substitute teacher. They definitely need more of those. But I truly think if we looked into everybody's lives who works a regular job, not everybody's 1,010% fulfilled.
There was a tweet, and a couple other people seem to agree with this as well. The stay-at-home girlfriend TikToks feel like a lobotomy to me. I really strongly feel that a lot of people's feelings about this are coming from this one girl who I've showed you, the white girl, Kendall K. I feel like a lot of people's feelings toward this trend are coming from her because, like I showed, there were these other women who were shopping and stuff, and they seemed very happy. They seemed totally cool with their lives. And I think, like I said, I think a lot of people's feelings about this are coming from this one girl, and I think that's kind of sad because I'm sure there are stay-at-home GFs, stay-at-home girlfriends who do fulfilling things in life. I'm sure there are people who are being provided for, and they're not in romantic relationships with someone, but they're being provided for by someone for whatever reason, and they do live fulfilling lives without working. And I think this is a pretty broad assumption to make. People are widely overreacting to a niche TikTok trend, in my opinion. It's so silly to rail against choice feminism when the option to be a stay-at-home girlfriend or whatever isn't even an option for most people. Like, I don't see a bunch of women quitting their jobs because of a TikTok, and I do think that's true. The reaction that people have to this trend is super overblown because it's something stupid on the internet, you know? And I do think it leads into some deeper conversations that are worth having, but we have to leave internet stuff on the internet, guys. There was a girl who, she made a stitch with Kendall, and she basically took a screenshot of Kendall's journal entry, which, whoa, I would never put that anywhere close to a camera, one of my journal entries.
This is what my mornings look like as a 25-year-old stay-at-home girlfriend.
The whole time I was watching this video, I was thinking, that seems like hell. But then at the end, I decided to screenshot her planner because I was so curious about what she could possibly be planning for. And then I read it, and it's like she's writing about her reflections, I guess, and she's writing unsatisfied with my looks, which, I mean, who amongst us? But stagnation in my career, satisfaction, fulfillment, lack of fun, social life, excitement. The contrast between this very aesthetically styled vlog and this aspirational content that she just put in front of us, and this very real and very raw diary entry full of her dissatisfaction with the lifestyle that she just, I guess, put on display, is just really interesting and kind of jarring.
And I don't think every stay-at-home girlfriend is like Kendall and feels this way, as her journal entry has said. Do you think this is fulfilling or not? The second reason why people are mad at this trend, I don't think people are really throwing a hissy fit online about it. The second talking point about this is privilege. It's a pretty clear-cut statement that if you are able to stay at home and not work and have someone completely provide for you and you aren't struggling financially, like none of these girls that I've showed you, clearly they are not struggling financially. I mean, as far as if you're going to Chanel to shop, I'm going to assume you're not struggling financially, okay? I understand why people would feel upset when they see someone who is living a more privileged life than them, because like I've said, and I'll give more examples of this, they feel they want something like this. People don't want to work. And when they see someone living a very lavish lifestyle, very privileged lifestyle, where they don't have to work, people will definitely rail against it. I think a lot of the anger around this trend comes from a point of jealousy or envy. And I think that's a pretty valid response to something like this, to be honest. So it is privilege, but we also can't see inside these people's lives. I think in terms of money, clearly they have privilege, but maybe these people are going through stuff in their lives and they're just not showing it. Like, I go through a lot of stuff in my life and I don't show it. And maybe some of you think I'm privileged because I have a YouTube channel. Believe me, I'm not. Maybe in some aspects, yes, you could say that I am, but not very much, right? But you don't know that because I don't share everything. And there's a very big difference between this and being a stay-at-home mom, like I've said. Because when you're a mom, you have children to take care of. You have probably, most likely, a house or some sort of finances that you are taking care of. It's a lot more than just, I did some dishes today and I did some laundry, you know. And I don't think these should be compared in the slightest. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't think these two things are similar at all. The other argument against this is that it's promoting sexism. And I talked about earlier choice feminism. What is that? Again, it's basically women have the choice whether they want to stay home or if they want to go into the workforce. And people have brought up the argument that, is there a choice in being financially dependent on a man? And I'm going to be honest, I think so. Yes, I think that is your choice, to be financially dependent on someone. So I'll read a few tweets, people's opinions on this aspect of the argument. The point of feminism isn't just quote-unquote choice, it's liberation from the patriarchy. By being a stay-at-home girlfriend, you're running headfirst into oppressive conditions. What choice is there in being financially shackled to a man? Ask your grandmom why her first marriage was so miserable. If they want to do that, they can do that. I don't really get it. I'm going to be honest, I don't really get it. This one says, women can work, not work, marry, not marry, have kids, no one's business, period. But the risk here is that it promotes a trend to be clear insecurity for the fact that for the women, while removing any legal security offered by a legal marriage contract, a divorce settlement / alimony. When it comes to working and being dependent on someone and marrying to protect yourself and yada, 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 the conversation becomes a lot more nuanced and detailed when you include the fact that disabled people exist, non-able-bodied people exist. I think Tara Mookney's video on this, she had a portion of it that included talking about disabled people. So I'm going to link this video down below if you want to check it out. But like, people with disabilities, women in particular, face more obstacles than healthy people in finding suitable partners to date and marry. And to add on to that, in America, disabled people, yeah, they have the right to marry, but for many, there is a financial barrier, and that's a major loss of benefits for simply getting married. And I don't know, I feel like these people are talking about choice feminism, and they're bringing it up to bring up the fact that intersectionality exists and blah, 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 while also kind of excluding a whole group of people who are affected completely differently by like marriage and not working and stuff like that. So I don't know, check out her video. I'm not going to go too in depth to it right here. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Choice feminism was such a mistake. Stay-at-home girlfriends are too dumb to realize that they are willingly doing what women had to do to survive, and it's not going to end well for them. They're making themselves so vulnerable to abuse and all kinds, it makes me so sad and angry. I feel like that's a broad thing to say, because not all of these girls are in abusive relationships. Not all of these girls are going to be financially abused. I don't think we as outsiders have a say as to what choices they make that may or may not impact their lives negatively, you know? This one says, choice feminism deleted the ability to comprehend a single point / concern from everyone's brain. No one is stopping you from being a stay-at-home whatever. We're just pointing out that being financially dependent on a man could be potentially dangerous considering women's history. I do think it is a choice to go into a possibly dangerous situation. I don't know. Sue me. Okay, whatever. And to end off on this part of it, I think that most of us can agree that women being caretakers is not promoting sexism. Stay-at-home moms are undervalued in society. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're not promoting sexism. You're doing something that you want to do. You're taking care of children. You're raising children. That is a job in and of itself. And I think it's so stupid to be like, because you're choosing to not work, you are not a real feminist. And the final criticism and the most valid critique that I've seen online is that this is promoting a dangerous relationship situation.
Most of these women are early to mid-20s. They're very young, likely out of college, and yet they're already giving up their career and their income to stay at home and take care of the house and their boyfriend. What's scary about young women taking up these positions as stay-at-home girlfriends is they're giving up these foundational pieces of their financial future. If you're staying at home tending to the house and tending to your boyfriend's needs, you, one, are not bringing in any income, which could help you with financial emergencies in the future, future or just financial freedom in general. And 2, you aren't building up career experience, so it's going to be a lot harder to re-enter the workforce if you ever need to one day. This is not to say that homemaking is not labor, because it absolutely is. But the reality is that domestic labor remains unrecognized and uncompensated in our society despite its immense value. With the position of a stay-at-home girlfriend, this invisible labor problem is exacerbated because you have an unequal benefits relationship at play. If you're a stay-at-home girlfriend, you are providing unpaid labor that directly benefits your boyfriend. But while you commit to labor that isn't formally recognized via money or professional institutions, your boyfriend is still able to build his career, make money of his own, and create a formalized professional legacy for himself. You don't.
We don't know if these women are making money off of side jobs or side hobbies that they're doing or whatever. Maybe they do have a savings account that they have in case they break up with their boyfriend. Maybe they do have a backup plan in case their boyfriend kicks them out of the house. We don't know this. I don't see it happening that a ton of women are gonna go into a relationship where they're financially dependent on a man. They're putting themselves at risk. I just don't see that happening. But I do understand where this critique is coming from. And I agree that this can definitely put you at a risk of being abused. The big part of this that makes it very dangerous is that they're not married, so they're not protected. If they break up, they're not going to get any money.
This is what my mornings look like as a 25-year-old stay-at-home girlfriend.
There's so much hate in that video, but look, objectively speaking, staying home is much better than being forced to work a job that you hate, which, may I carefully suggest, is the case for most people. But as a divorce lawyer, I wouldn't suggest that you aspire to become a stay-at-home girlfriend. And the reason is because nothing is ever free in this world. And the price you pay as a stay-at-home girlfriend is your autonomy, your independence, your freedom, which all leads to you being vulnerable. What happens when your boyfriend breaks up with you 10 years down the line? You'll be 35 with no job experience, no career, no way to live the lifestyle that you enjoyed with your boyfriend. And if you're from Toronto, you can't even touch his property because you were never married. If being a stay-at-home girlfriend works for you, that's totally fine, but just remember that it comes with risks.
And I totally agree. I think that is a very valid critique with this whole trend. But again, we don't see the insides of these people's lives. We don't see if they are actually in a very strong relationship, and maybe they are going to get married soon. We don't see whether they are being abused or all this stuff. And again, I don't think many women are going to start doing this because they see girls doing it on TikTok and they make it seem like this special thing, because most people don't have the ability to just date a guy and have everything provided for them. So I do think people are getting a little too freaked out and stressed out about this when it's not that big of a deal. And that's what my final say on this situation. I do think it brings up some valid talking points and stuff, but beyond that, is it really that big of a deal? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and I'm gonna say it's really not that big of a deal. I don't think everything needs to be a big deal, guys. I don't think everything online needs to be this big social critique and blah, 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 because it's just stupid stuff online. I say this after I made, probably this is going to be like a 25-minute video about it. Okay, listen. It's an interesting talking point. But beyond that, is it really a big deal? No, I don't think it is. I really, really want to hear all of your thoughts on this situation and all of the points about it that I went over. Let me know. You can write a big paragraph. I will read it, believe me. I do have free time. I will read your big paragraph. Go right ahead. But yeah, it's an interesting topic. I want to talk about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, you can subscribe. I post commentary and comedy videos every Sunday at 12 p.m. So if that sounds like your thing, subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you know when I post a video. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.